So Neil is a deep water marine and archaeologist with over 49 years of experience in the marine and offshore industries. His experience is in the planning of locating and investigating deep water shipwrecks with ROV technology. So would you be able to give us a bit of background on your experience so far?
Well, it all started, my ancestors are all part of the town, born and bred, although I wasn't. I was born in Dunfermline, brought up in Glenrothes, but when my parents retired and came here, I desperately wanted a career at sea, so at 17 I ran away and joined the Merchant Navy. At that time it was Ben Line steamers of Edinburgh, which were effectively known as the Scottish Navy. And I did my cadetship as a navigator, and then the government kind of didn't look after the Merchant Navy. And I found myself in a new industry, which was the oil industry in 1979. So I was one of the first group of people in Fife to go offshore and work in oil rigs. Did that for 11 years. Came ashore, wanted to teach, so I became an offshore survival instructor. Free-fall lifeboats, helicopter drills, teaching people how to drive lifeboats. And it was during that time I took up sport diving. And then from sport diving, at the university here, they had the Scottish Institute of Maritime Studies. And they had a group that were involved in looking at all the protected wrecks around the whole of the UK. And they used to meet up with me on a Friday and try and get me to tell them where my shipwrecks were and share my stories. And that was it, I was hooked. I became involved with them, and then I became involved with other nautical archaeology groups. Eventually, I decided to leave it all, a good well-paid career offshore, and come to St Andrews, because that's where the course was, and do my master's degree. It's unusual for a local of the town to go to his local university. You usually want to, spread your wings, but I still had a mortgage to do and a master's to do, and I hadn't been in a library for about 15 years prior to that. So that was a big shock coming to university with other students who had done a first degree and then do a master's. But 18 months later, I got my master's with a distinction. And then I was working for the university and the institute, and I was helping teaching students diving and all other things. But they closed the department, School of History, or hating that, doing that. And then I found what am I going to do. I'd been a commercial diver, and I was either spend more money and become an underwater welder and do saturation diving, or ROVs, remotely operated vehicles. So I decided to do remotely operated vehicles up at Fort William for a month. Got my pilot's license there. Came out, couldn't get many jobs. Then an American company that was doing shipwreck exploration wanted an offshore guy who just so happened to be a marine archaeologist. And I was the only one in the world then.
Fit the bill.
They hired me in that 20 years with an American exploration company. But my roots have always been in St Andrews. And when I'm home in St Andrews, I thought, it's a great place. I've travelled all over the world, spent 5 years in the Far East, all over, and I've always come home to St Andrews. And people say, locals will tell you, can't wait to get out of St Andrews. It's horrible, there's nothing here. And I can understand that, but when you go away and come back, there's just something about this town that's unique in Scotland. It's got a university and a golf course, that's it. There's no industry, that's it, hospitality university. Used to be a town with a university, now it's a university with a town, but hey ho, that's how it is. And I've always loved to come back here. If you're anywhere in the world and you say, where are you from? Oh, I'm from St Andrews. They're either going to say, home of golf, university. In my day, as a teenager here, it was a bit different, the relationship town and girl, a bit different.